Gabe is playing one of my favorite decks. He's playing Sync. Good stuff. Most Data Raven, Gutenberg, news teams, all the good stuff. So we're looking at opening hands now. We've got Gabe with the all-important card of Blackmail. I keep many opening hands as long as I've got a Blackmail, as just having that threat.
Although against NEH, not as important.
Also true. Yeah, definitely true. We appreciate Luke flashing the opening hand, so we get a Cyberdex. Looks like he is not keeping that, not happy with his opening hand, which is important. Against Val, you've got to figure out a way to get that first agenda scored because Blackmail doesn't allow you to rush it behind something in the same way you might normally expect to be able to do.
Yeah, on the flip side, though, being able to sort of biotic something out sort of protects you from Blackmail as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think that one key card in this matchup, if it comes into play early, is going to be Vamp. Vamp, to me, is one of the most effective solutions against these fast advanced decks. If you can first turn Career Fair out a Liberated account and just get the money advantage on them.
That's really only.
Val is so good, and I think I came around to her late. Part of the reason she's so good is we talk about how good Wizard is on the other side with the 3 credits a turn. Bad Pub gets you a third of the way there, and she can trash assets and upgrades very effectively in much the same way Wizard does. And I think against Moomba Temple and things like that, she's going to be very effective because she can check everything and trash it without going too low on money. Yeah,
and side note here, I'd like to point out that Gabe is playing with these delightful-looking PeachHack tokens as his click tracker.
Very nice.
So
very classic.
Shout-outs to him and to PeachHack for that.
Okay, this looks much better for Luke. He's got some money. He's got some ice. Playing a global food, which is interesting.
Yeah, GFI is not ideal in that hand, and very interesting influence choice.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I love it over an NAPD. I think especially with the fast advanced package that he's looking to play, maybe a little bit difficult to score. But, there are games where I'm sure it's relevant. So, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So, Career Fair out the Liberated, take money, and then if you get Vamp in hand, you can really start to do a lot of work against turning off all of NEH's best plays.
Yeah, and so he hasn't really revealed anything. This could very well be DLR Val. Luke doesn't necessarily know. We would, I guess, assume that maybe he doesn't, but he's just going to put down the Sand, and that's that's really smart. Blackmail's a thing. So the ice is not so important, but having the threat of just being able to score in one turn.
Having played really Val extensively for a while now, I will say that the most effective method against this deck is to keep jamming out remotes and make them check and try to do your best to wear out their Blackmails. Siphon is going to be big here. I think he's going to want to clear this out, and he's got Eater in hand already, so I think getting on the Siphon and Vamp plan is going to be very effective here. Yeah, this is great. Gotta trash it.
This is good for Luke too because it forces Gabe to spend that money now as opposed to being able to use it on a Vamp.
So Career Fair and Liberated accounts. We'll see it again on the other side in Wizard, but just does so much work.
Yeah, it used to be that card was sort of necessary because of the amount of money it gave you, but the tempo hit you took to put it down was rough. Career Fair has made a lot of things like that very, very powerful in this game.
So we've got Daily Business Show and Pad Campaign. I think the problem they're going to find is those aren't going to stay on the board terribly long against Val, but he is playing, I think, correctly of trying to make Gabe think that there could be an Astro lurking.
Yeah, and we know Gabe has the same old thing, so if he wanted to try and Blackmail back in, he could, but that's exactly what Luke wants him to do. So I think instead...
I would absolutely Siphon here.
Yeah, I think that looks like that's Gabe's plan, and I think that's absolutely the correct play here is to instead say, well, if you're just going to keep doing this, then I'm going to stop you from being able to.
Gabe also has 3 Deja Vus in his deck. Now, what's interesting about this version is Gabe is still playing the Wild Side adjusted chronotype, which part of the reason I don't play Siphon is because when you're trying to combo it with a heavy resource deck, it's very tough to convince yourself to clear the tags. Now, granted, if you get somebody Siphon locked, you almost don't need to play resources at that point because you're so rich.
Right.
But that is something that's going to be, I think, interesting in this game to see how Gabe manages the tags and what Luke decides to do to respond. All right, so double agenda, not the most lucrative, but at least he didn't have to draw them both.
Right. And at this point, again, he's sort of put out these tests for Gabe.
All right, this is going to be.
And so this is how he's going to
ugly.
have to do it. Is he's going to have to single turn score.
So.
Yeah, and so now that he's down to 6 credits, this is when Gabe is going to hit. It's going to be rough.
So this is probably.
If this was Turing, he'd be in.
Yeah.
Okay, shape.
This is exactly what happens.
Not helpful.
So now at this point, what Gabe really needs to focus on doing is just really getting the card draw online and finding that next deja vu. The fact that he's got Davids in there, I mean, he is going to be able, between multiple vamps, siphons, he can very well lock Luke down, but he really does need to find some of those card draw.
Yeah, I mean, really the only thing, I'm trying to think of how Luke gets out of this with ice, and I don't think he can.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the list, and I just don't know. I mean, the top end ice
list,
is good.
He definitely doesn't have anything.
Assassin's good, Archangel's good, but if you don't have the money to res it, it's going to be fairly lonely.
I mean, he's got a Data Raven there, 2 of them, which might be a deterrent, but isn't going to stop Gabe from getting in at all. And at that point, Gabe just goes tag me.
Yeah.
And I don't see a Psychographics, which isn't going to matter because it's not going to have money. So.
Yeah, just drawing all the wrong part of his deck right now. I mean, Cyberdex is not really doing a whole lot for him.
Yeah.
I think he may try to bluff one out. But okay, so just discards. Yeah, so we get another blackmail in hand. This is great for Gabe.
Yeah.
He knows that the remote's kind of tied up. Now this is interesting. So he's low on money, but I don't know that a lot of times you want to run straight up on a remote. Because if they get it res, then they've got then blackmails offline, and especially in an eater deck, you've got to be careful not to let them get too much of their HQ, or pardon me, of their remote ice resed.
But on the other hand, if you're spending those 2 credits to res that ice, then you're getting now you're getting into R&D.
This
for
is
free.
true.
So I think that was an acceptable call.
All right, so staring his hand. I mean, I think at this point, it's more important to draw. Yeah, I agree with this. And now he's even got the Corroder in the deck. So wow, that's.
So now that David is for the toll booths, which is ideal, really. Yeah,
all right,
now you're running
he's
HQ
got something. All right, sees another wraparound, no big deal. Global food is still safe. All right, sees toll booth. All right, he feels like there's something in there. Let's see if he can pull the global food, and he got it. Nicely done. Gabe was very committed to that run, and he got paid off. All right, so we get pad campaign going.
This is not looking great for Luke. Another global food.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is what's great. Pad campaign is just clogging up the only remote he has. He can invest more ice in there, but he has a wraparound that's going to do nothing against Corroder, and he's got a toll booth that he's very far away from resing. So if I'm Gabe, chase down that pad campaign. Don't let him get the money advantage. Don't let him crawl back into the game. And what do we see being drawn? Couldn't see what he put down quite. Yeah, I think Gabe just at this point, find a deja vu, get your next siphon, and just go to town.
Well, he's still the same old thing, right? Yeah. So you can same old thing siphon if you're going to stop worrying about tags, which I think, frankly, is okay. Is that
Museum of History. Okay, so we see the first one.
And that's not terrible for Luke to see the blackmail used on it. But again, also Luke's not really advancing his board at all.
Yeah, so he's playing Katie with the tag still, right? Or
no,
did he clear them?
He cleared both tags the turn that he ran. But I think same old thing, siphon and keeping the tags is fine. Like, if he wants to trash Katie, then
he's
it's just putting him further behind.
He's got 2 same old things, 3 deja vu. So I think just getting some aggressive card draw going.
Does he have the multi-access or just Keyhole?
I believe just 2 Keyhole.
Okay.
Yes. And I don't believe there's any HQ. What would be nice is if he could pull a hacktivist meeting. That would be really nice, because I have to imagine that's going to stay on the board for a while.
In
with
fact,
the money
I think
situation.
that's what that is.
Oh, and he's got turntable. That's also, I forgot to mention that earlier. Turntable. A lot of Anarchs have been adopting this as a counter to AstroScript, just to get that counter off the board and get into their score area. And so I think
play is putting Museum back, Luke. I promise.
You're going to want to draw it again.
Oh, he doesn't though. Wow.
Okay. Because, yeah, Gabe's almost certainly going to trash that in the not too distant future. I think at this point he just needs to find another Siphon.
Yeah, and I think we did see Hacktivist, so I think at this point he's going to unload Katie and play it. Yeah, I'm not sure what card he put back, but Gabe saying sounded good.
All right, so mandatory draws, can't quite see what he's got. All right, so hedge fund, that's a very good draw for him because now Siphon doesn't absolutely send him back into the Stone Age.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I really would have liked to see Gabe just same old thing, go for it. But then you're sort of, that's pretty early to committing to the tag me.
Sure.
Which is fair. So just pondering the move here.
Yeah.
I really like that Hacktivist that you mentioned. I feel like dropping that down is not the play.
Yeah, I think to me, same old thing to Siphon and then drop Hacktivist seems fine to me. I mean, or just clear Katie, then same old thing Siphon. Knowing that you can follow it up with a Deja Vu next turn, I feel like just getting him low, like if he siphons him down to nothing, Luke's not going to come back from that anytime soon.
Yeah, he's already seen 2 hedge funds now. Oh, wow. Assassin. So that would be big. If Luke decides to res this, now Siphon.
Yeah, and see, I don't think that's a bad res because you've got to protect yourself at some point on R&D.
And it takes the 2 David counters, but
this is where David's just so good. It's such a good exchange for him. Yeah, I don't know if I love the trash, but if he's going to
yeah, especially if you're going to play Hacktivist.
I still would like to see a Siphon.
Well, all right, so now he's set up to do it on the next turn.
Okay.
And then he'll be able to clear the tags.
I don't know that I love telegraphing that, though. You know, because you give him a turn to know, okay, I've got to put something over this wraparound, whereas setting up an instance where you
why
can
is he putting the sand back? He can't afford to res it. He can't afford to score out of it right now.
Yeah, that's not necessarily. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad card, but I kind of agree with
I bet he put the DBS back last turn, which makes sense because I didn't see it there.
Okay.
And so that was probably an okay play over the museum, but I think the museum is still in there, right? I think that is still.
I believe so.
That's more impactful than the sand right now, because if he draws the sand now, it's a dead card in his hand. He draws a Beal. So also not great for him.
At this point, I'm trying to see the ice in his hand. Yeah, wraparound's not really doing much.
Another Moomba Temple. Oh, no, his first Moomba Temple. So that's going to be ideal.
All right. Appreciate the players being mindful of the camera.
Yeah, Gabe
but
bringing that
NEH
up
has been doing this to us all day, so this no surprise this game would be any different.
Yeah, sounds like he's going to make a second row if he installs again. So.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that Gabe has let the pad campaign go this long, but at the same point in time, I understand that it gets you, it kind of baits the Corp into a sense of security when Siphon is looming around the corner. So
right. So Luke installing Moomba Temple, a Beal. What else? What else did he do? Draw maybe?
All right, so we're drawing.
Took a credit. Yeah, so he's at 5 now.
All right, so just straight up running HQ.
So draw or on HQ.
We know he has a Beal in there.
If he draws a GFI, it's a big deal. He didn't drew another assassin.
All right, so he's not siphoning. I've got to imagine it's because he thinks that he's going to res some of those face down cards in response, which is not not a bad assumption, but
even then, you're putting him on 0 credits.
Yeah, and there's some value to that.
Yeah, and with Hacktivist, that makes that worse as well.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that on the other end. Yeah, Hacktivist, I think, is one of those underplayed cards that
Yep, absolutely.
I understand it's tough to make room in your deck, but against decks like this, if you can't get it off the board, it is devastating.
Yep. And they're in so many decks right now are running this horizontal asset style. So.
All right, so Gabe is set up. He's got a daily cast online. He's got Katie Jones.
Fast track. Doesn't seem very good here. producer.
Touche.
Got him. Freaking got him. So he just spent 3 to score the Beal. I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
Oh, you don't want to look at us, that's for sure.
Never us. It's always the wrong camera to switch to.
Well, a keyhole has appeared.
It is hard to see, though. Yeah, I guess Luke is on 3 points. That makes sense. Yeah, so there's the keyhole. There's the win condition for Gabe, really.
Yeah.
And Luke has the 1 ice, which is actually not bad against it.
Yeah, Assassin's going to be perfectly reasonable in this matchup. Yeah, so Hacktivist is gone.
It's going to cost him 5 every time he wants to go into R&D against Assassin. So Gabe, I think, probably just trying to figure out. He knows Eater Keyhole's not really live yet. He needs to get some more money or shut down Luke a little bit more.
Yeah, and he's Gabe is playing 3 Parasites. It's going to take some time to whittle down an Assassin if he finds it.
Yeah, but at this point.
It's because I don't know. I'm looking at his deck. He only has 1 of David, so I don't know that he has any better answers necessarily to Assassin in his deck.
In there? I thought I saw Scavenge. Am I crazy? I guess I'm just thinking of the last round.
Yeah, he's playing Account Siphon, 3 Career Fair, 1 Levy, 1 Lucky Find, 3 Parasite.
So no way to get it back either. It's an interesting choice then. Have the David without any recursion of any sort. Meanwhile, Luke on the other side, just trying to. He found some money, which is great, but he's going to have to take credit hedge fund, which is never what you want to do as Corp.
So this is the point at which I probably try to siphon. I mean, even if you res his cards, you're going to get some value out of it. I think just trying to keep him down to low credits where he can't sand and score is valuable.
Yeah, he is double icing what I think is the Moomba Temple. I don't think that's the sand. I could be wrong. But an interesting choice nonetheless.
All right, so we got DDoS.
DDoS, which is going to do work here as well if Luke tries to shell game something out behind that ice. But Gabe not doing great on money right now. He hasn't seen any more liberated accounts. He's just slowly building up on Katie.
Yeah.
Turntables out. Which right now isn't doing any good because Luke hasn't found any Astro scripts.
I'm not a huge fan of it here. I mean, I think that ship may have sailed because Astro's not out, and I don't know that he will ultimately. I don't even know that he needs the memory because he's just going to install over the David if he puts the keyhole down. So yeah, I'm not sure I love spending what little money he has on that. I mean, I've played something similar enough to this Valencia deck to know you're at your most vulnerable when you don't have money, and I think he just really needs to focus on what is going to make me the most money. Now, Katie is going, and that I'm sure next turn if he clears that will help a ton.
Yeah.
But I'd be very nervous to give them this potential scoring window.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I mean, he should have siphoned several turns ago.
Yeah.
Again, with same old thing. He's got a Deja Vu in hand now, so he can do it twice even. Because the longer you give Luke, the more assets he can have out to res. So.
Yeah, and this is also part of the reason why when I built my deck, I went away from Siphon and just played Vamp. It's much easier when you're just getting 1 tag and you're only going to Vamp so often, but you guarantee that they're going to go to 0. It's much easier to play around the tag or to just leave the tag if you get late enough in the game.
Yep.
But yeah, when you have Katie sitting at 9, it's very scary to try and leave a tag out there.
And so yeah, Luke just starting to build out remotes right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Forcing Gabe to really go exploring out there.
What Gabe doesn't know, he's got two agendas in hand at this point. So you know, he's done some single accesses earlier. I don't know if he goes that route again. My guess is he's trying to set up something bigger if he's taking money off of Katie. He does have Deja Vu to get a blackmail if he wants it. Okay.
DBS.
Okay. Huh. I mean, this is kind of the game that NEH wants you to play,
Yeah,
right? They just want to bait you into
running around in circles, sort of.
I don't know that either of those cards were really impactful enough, especially when you're playing a Keyhole deck and you're going to force them to shuffle anyway.
Right.
I just don't know that DBS is so impactful a card that you really care.
Yeah, I think at this point he has to be asking himself what enables that plan the most, and getting rid of Assassin does. And he knows he has 3 Parasites, so just draw for it.
All right, so we're paying out. I can't see which agenda we're scoring. I think it was a 15 minutes.
No, no, Beal.
Second Beal. That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay, so we got Project
Luke
Beal, so we're on 5.
Yeah. Yeah, and at this point, either Keyhole might just be too slow, especially because he doesn't. There's really no great way around Assassin. But I mean, what else can he do, really? Can go for single HQ accesses, which, as we mentioned, could score him points here. There's the Parasite.
I still feel like you see one unres card on the board. Same old thing. Siphon to me is the ideal play.
Yeah.
I don't even care if as long as you get him to 0, that's all that matters.
There we go.
That's fine. I think Siphon needs to happen. Leaving him at 4 credits to me is not the way you want to go. He's going to gain 1 with the pad campaign.
Yeah. I mean, he could stall advance 15 minutes now and be on 6. Yep, there it is.
All right, so, but I don't think he drew. There we go.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so Gabe, he's on 6 points. How many 1-pointers is he running in his deck? Let's have a look.
Oh, man, it's all out of order.
All right, so we got 15 minutes, 1 breaking news.
I think that's it.
Okay, I think that's it. So,
so his 1-pointers are done. He needs
I don't know there's a whole lot of value of scoring that then. That's kind of where I was trying to see.
Well, it takes it off the board for Gabe to access, so. So he just accessed Archangel there and couldn't fire it, which I think Gabe is pretty happy about.
Yeah, I'm just real. That same old thing's been there forever, and
yeah,
I
mean, what's it doing there? The Deja Vu is sitting in hand as well. He could have Deja Vu'd it for click 4 last turn and had it this turn to use twice.
Because everybody assumes that well, it's only 3 credits that I'm stealing. It's not the full 5, but sometimes when you're at 0 and you have to get back to something that allows you to score and close the game, that's easier said than done. Especially when we know he has another Deja Vu in hand.
So he's just spent 2 clicks running HQ for single access, when both of those clicks could have been used for a same old thing Siphon.
And this is why I play a Singleton Wanton Destruction in my deck, is just for the exact situation.
If you're worried about
like
the HQ, you need to be able to clear it.
Just clear it out.
And that's really the only thing Val can do against it, honestly. So. And now Sweep Sweep is coming out.
Yeah, so, I don't know, this next turn, I feel like Siphon has to happen.
Yeah, I mean, he can same old thing Siphon. Deja Vu Siphon.
Yep. All right, there we go.
Let's do it, boys. I really want to see him Deja Vu for click 3.
All right, so it should be free with the bad pub to access or to get the wraparound. Who cares about tags at this point?
Deja Vu. Count Siphon.
Yep. That seems good to me.
Yes.
Yep. As a person who's been playing Account Siphon Recursion out of Anarch for many months, it just warms my heart to see how many Account Siphons can we play in a single turn. And 2 is a respectable number. Look at that credit count. Don't you just feel good looking at that?
And
no closed accounts? No, there's no closed. It's fine. We'll spoil the surprise. I see no closed accounts.
Yeah,
but it is always the thing that when you play against any NBN.
I run it in my NBN. For this reason precisely.
Yep.
It's so good.
All right, so at this point, I think Gabe very well in the money. Doesn't have any kind of permanent card draw online, so I'm curious whether he decides to go all in just to put Keyhole down and see what happens, which is perfectly valid at this point.
I think you do. I mean, that Assassin's low now. It's going to be on 2 next turn.
I like that plan a lot, personally. I mean, with the bad pub and the 3 strength, or, well, next turn, 2 strength assassin, you're paying 1 credit to Keyhole. And to me, the Keyhole is one of the best win conditions in the game for a reason. Just let it do its thing. Mill all the agendas, and if you go Keyhole, run 3 times.
And at this point, that deck's low enough.
Absolutely.
You got a pretty good shot of seeing those agendas.
Yeah, so let's see if Gabe goes the route we talked about. I know he's gripping it. He knows the power of the Keyhole. Okay, he's checking remotes.
He's exploring. Yeah, I can't see this being the right play. I mean, I guess the Moomba Temple helps him get San online, so that's fine.
All right, just go to town. Yep, that's what you do. Bad pub and 1. Yep. Do it again. That's what you do.
Yep.
Much like DLR, you just hit the Keyhole button and see what happens. Now, turntable's not going to do a whole lot for him at this point. I mean, there's no real high-value targets.
Get rid of the Jackson.
That's
smart.
Nice.
It's very smart.
So now we know he's on 2 credits. He'll be at 3 with the pad campaign. So as long as nothing on board is Astro, then we're in good shape. So I think that at this point, I mean, it's still anybody's game, but I do feel like Gabe has kind of turned the corner and said, I've got Keyhole now.
Right.
What are you going to do about it? And
so
I
now
don't
Luke
know that there's
has
an
to
immediate
find-
great answer.
Interesting.
Yeah, so, I mean, it undoes a Keyhole turn, but at the same point in time, it's kind of like, well, when your deck's that thin and I'll just pull it back out again and Keyhole 4 times, there's not a whole heck of a lot that's really going to do. I think I probably would have saved that for a different agenda and just given that up, because if he takes the Explodapalooza, at least you get money.
Yeah. But again, you've seen 1 Jackson in the trash now, so
yeah,
you're worried you don't have a way to get it back otherwise.
I'm curious whether he starts just installing stuff to bluff out an agenda or challenge him. He's got a lot in hand. This is also exactly why I play Wanton Destruction, is because this exact play pattern happens when you have blackmails and people get their hand clogged up trying to wait Val out, and then you just Wanton the hand, and most times I win off that. So, yeah, we got a 1 strength assassin that is not long for this world, it appears.
It's just going to Keyhole it.
There's Astro, and this is what Keyhole does, folks. It takes your good cards and it throws them in the trash. And so, yeah, we're going to spend 1 more credit, go back. Yep, just hand him the deck. That's what I've learned. I just don't want to just give me the deck. I'll figure this out. Interesting.
Yeah, I guess with museums on the board, you might as well.
Yeah, so he's not going to turntable it. Now, I don't think Gabe has any recursion left. Hasn't drawn. Don't think he necessarily needs to.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, he's either checking a remote that was just installed or keyholing, so.
Yeah, so at this point, if you're Gabe, you've just got to wonder. I mean, how can you not? If you keyhole 3 times and run archives, I don't know how this doesn't work. I really don't.
Well, there's the Explodapalooza.
Yeah, so explode. I mean, the keyhole, you can't see 12 cards or whatever. It's going to work.
Yeah, this is gonna do it.
I mean, he has a lot in hand. Don't get me wrong, but all right. So look at a 3. All right.
One more shot.
All right. Let's see what we got. Doesn't find it. Wow.
Oh,
okay.
Wow. Doesn't.
Well, you've got 1 more click. You could run HQ and still. Well, he's got to. I say that he's got to run archives to pull the points that he pulled.
Well, and Luke has a biotic in hand, doesn't he?
Well, he's got Sansan on the board as well.
So I think that does it then. I think Luke actually manages
to
pull this out.
He could just try to run HQ straight up. I mean, he's got breakers. I mean, he could force him low enough credits by trying to protect himself. I can't actually remember what the HQ ice is at this point.
It doesn't matter. If it's a Data Raven, it doesn't matter. It might be the other assassin or a Toll Booth, right? So that's.
But Toll Booth would take him out of being able to score next turn.
Yeah, that's true. So would assassin.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, so the only.
Oh yeah, DDoS. So he's got So we're going. This is perfect. He spent all his money to protect himself. And then you're going to get keyholed to death. This is perfect. I don't know how you res that. You don't res that. Because now you're broke and you have no path to victory. It doesn't even matter that you can't pay for Sansan. Or am I wrong? He only has one Moomba, right?
Yeah, okay, so there's a Jackson for some protection.
But you can
so that buys you a turn.
I'm trying to see how thick the deck is. I mean, I don't think he can get keyholed next turn. Yeah, that's a nice.
Yeah.
Pop-up window's nice. I don't know if Gabe has another. I don't think he has another in hand, another Parasite. But he also has the bad pub, so he may be making money for Luke, but he could also just win the game here. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would have checked that Jackson first.
Oh, you saw the other Astro too.
Yeah, but with Jackson, I mean, this is tough. I mean, he's got so he's got a Jackson in the agendas,
and presumably the other Jackson.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this. The problem with this is if he's not careful with how much credits Luke gets from this pop-up window, he's basically giving him the game.
Another Parasite would be ideal here.
Yeah, Parasite would do a little bit of work. Because Luke will get one from Pad Campaign, so he'll be at 5, has 2 from Moomba Temple. So, yeah, I think absent Gabe pulling something that can drain credits, I think he's pretty much got enough to get this Beal scored out. Yeah, I'm not sure I love this play. Yeah, because you haven't seen anything relevant. I almost like to draw here.
Luke, just assuming there was another keyhole run after Gabe's turn ends.
Yeah, you do get to that point where you're just like, here's my deck.
Yeah,
just
here are the 3 cards. Go.
Just be gentle. Yeah, because I just don't know
click,
that.
Doing it again. Biotic for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so he had it on board. Yeah, I knew he had the Sansan down, but yeah, I mean, it was effectively the same. He had enough money to res that. So
that's rough.
Good first game. I mean, this is I think part of what kept Gabe. I think the decision not to siphon early was interesting. I mean, certainly it was very relevant once he did it. But he just didn't. He was having to click to draw cards. Never found Wild Side. Never found I've Had Worse. Now he is only running, unlike me, he's running 2 Wild Side rather than the full 3. Which, to me, and I've had this conversation with him before, I run 3 Inject, 3 I've Had Worse, 3 Wild Side, because when you're trying to get through a 50-card deck and you need consistency, you just want cards.
Yeah,
and especially if you're trying to levy and get blackmails back, you just want a ton of card draw. And so, I think that was one of the things that maybe kind of slowed him down. If he just needed another Deja Vu, needed a Vamp or something towards the end just to kind of close things out. But very good competitive game for the first one.